I think Todd Pappy at some point in development talked about the floodgates would open after Squadron 42 is open and all the effort goes to Star Citizen. I think he said something similar like that. Now here's the thing, I don't think the efforts will go to Star Citizen because who's going to pay for the marketing the next 2 years? That money will still be siphoned off from Star Citizen money towards Squadron 42. So any ship you buy right now, any suit, any money put in the game right now, thinking now the time has come for Star Citizen getting more focus. They're still going to spend millions, tens of millions of it first on marketing. And then when Squadron 42 is done, what do you think is going to happen? They're just going to close down the offices for Squadron 42 and run over and do Star Citizen. I think they're already planning the sequel or some type of DLC. And I think the end goal here is to create a permanent structure where Star Citizen is the donkey that pulls the Squadron 42 cart. And 80-90% of all the money and effort will always go into Squadron 42 first and its sequels. Because think about it, the leadership of the company, they would have never gotten 10 years of development time and over 500 million, or by now $600 million to develop a single player game. No publisher would have given that money and time. Notice how RCorp looks right now compared to the 2017 or 2018 presentation. And to end the video, I'd like to show you some evidence on how much effort the developers put into Squadron 42, especially in terms of animation work with characters compared to Star Citizen. Okay, I'm going to play like 10-15 seconds of this video. Now pay attention to the guy over here that's picking up the hose.
An experience as possible.
Notice here the hose actually self-colliding and rubbing against the other piece of the hose. Notice how he's walking with it. Now he's in the picture again. He's walking up to it, sticking it into the socket and twisting it so it stays stuck. Imagine how much mocap work that is. Just this character. And that's a scene you probably won't even notice when you play single player. You're probably just going to walk out and not even pay attention to that detail. And yet they put so much effort into it. Like they mocap the guy carrying the hose, and the rope physics of that thing. And they probably built a mock-up of those ships of the similar scale, so that the mocap actors have something to work on in terms of what they're touching and things. And that's some great production value. However, notice what we're getting in Star Citizen. See now here, the earlier animation work of Star Citizen, 2016 I think, we see that's an Aurora. One of the cheapest and I would say ugliest ships in the game, because it looks like a flying graphics card. Notice the seating animation. It's actually custom mocapped. Check this out. The character is actually squeezing past the seat to sit down in it. That's beautiful. In the Aurora, I never get bored getting in or out of the seat because it's just a fluid, beautifully mocapped animation. However, then the developers got progressively lazy because they started ignoring Star Citizen because they knew they're going to get paid anyway, and they put all the effort into Squadron 42. And the evidence for that, let's look at this catastrophe, which is the rock mining jeep. It opens towards the front. You know why that is? So they don't have to mocap somebody climbing in through the side door. And here it's getting even worse. That's the rock with the extra seat on it. Notice they just copy-paste the seat out of it, moved it to the side of the thing. Again, the same backwards seating animation, and the character's just attached in the air to the next seat to it. That's like the absolute bottom of the barrel in animation quality and just scraping the bottom of the barrel. And I think it gets even slightly worse than that. For example, the Anvil Hawk, okay? Bounty hunting ship. Beautiful shape, and you think, hey, I'm gonna get this beautiful animation where the cockpit opens, you climb into it over a ladder, like on the Avenger, where you have this. I think for the Avenger, they actually built a mock-up cockpit, because the mocap animation, it has some really precise points the character holds on to. It's beautiful. However, what did they do for this one? Let me find a moment. When they release new ships or new objects, pay attention to these animations, because if players pay more attention to it, and tell them in the feedback forms, they might get the hint and put more quality into it. Okay, so every time you see a developer or a machine in the game where the character sits in an animation where he turns around and slowly sits down, that means they recycled an existing animation instead of mocapping it, and they're trying to shortcut it. And they're usually trying to blindside you by making the seat extending animation as flashy as possible to distract you from it. They put in low effort, and then they disguise the low effort with something else, hoping you don't notice it.